Welcome to Thunderwudgie.
I'm Annie.
I'm Reese.
I'm Tej.
I know we totally did that in reverse order this time, but...
Is there an order?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dang. I never noticed
Haven't
that.
you been listening to our
No.
can we
podcast?
go Reese, T, Annie?
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
Because
No.
normally we're just talking, and then Reese is like, okay, now we're going to
Wrap
kick it off.
up here, get going, or whatever.
Because I feel like you guys usually don't know I'm recording.
Oh, that's
So then-
true. This
yeah,
time we
I'll
actually...
surprise you guys.
This time we actually know.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the later ones we kind of started suspecting.
You'd think we would have figured it out sooner, but here we are.
So usually we record in the evening when we're tired.
And this time we decided to switch it up and record it in the morning when we're really tired, too.
The very early morning.
But
Crack of dawn.
Reese and Tej brought sustenance, and it's amazing. Very good quiche.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Quiche is really good. I feel like I don't think about quiche enough.
No, I was trying to think of what would be compact, shareable, not have to take orders.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like most of the time I don't really even eat breakfast. I'm obviously trying to
Really?
do better about that. But I'll eat, like, little things, but I love, like, a big breakfast if it's happening.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
don't want to make it myself. So that's why it's kind of appealing, too, when you think about Hogwarts and all the... I know it's the elf labor.
Slavery.
Yeah.
So that's not so good. But, you know, all the delicious things they have. I don't know, maybe that'd be overwhelming for me, though, if you had that rich food every day.
It'd be like the
Yeah.
freshman 15 times 10.
10.
Yeah.
You never hear them eating just, like, yogurt, you know, or, like, salad.
Right?
It's like treacle
At least
tarts.
not Ron.
I can't see him being a big salad guy, I guess.
No.
But
Hermione is probably moderate. In other episodes, we've made mention of noises that you may hear in the background.
oh, yes. So today we are at my place, and we've got two turtles in the background. So I'm curious if anyone could hear them. They're a little bit crazy this morning. Like, you know how low-key I feel like I'm feeling or not awake? They are the exact opposite. So they like to splash around, and so they're joining us today. Abby and Quinn, say hi.
Splash, splash, splash.
That's what you're going to get, folks.
Yeah, what do turtle voices sound like? Do you make voices for them?
I say things sometimes that they say. Like,
In
I
like a
always,
turtle voice?
no voice.
Oh.
But
What about your dummy voice?
I bet everyone loved that.
That's so good.
As I was listening back to it, I was like, ooh, what is that?
It was great. It was perfect. It sounded
amazing.
just like Dobby.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know why they didn't cast me in the movie, but
And yeah, that's what I was thinking.
oh man. Have we ever talked about that before?
Casting?
Who we would have liked to play in the movie, or who we would have
No.
chosen?
I don't think so. Then again, I don't remember anything that we talk about, so I might not be a good gauge.
I don't think
Reese?
we have ever talked about that.
No.
Something that shocked me was that Ron is so much taller and ganglier and nerdier in the books
Yeah.
than he was in the movies. But I admit I did see 2 of the movies before I started reading the books.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
Because I always think that's interesting, too, what colors you're... I mean, if you read the books first, for the most part, it's like there were things that I noticed more with the movies that kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
And even, like, I like Emma Watson, you know, as Hermione, but in terms of, like, when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know if I totally buy it. And as she
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
prettier, as she gets older, I'm like, "Okay, this isn't exactly... I mean, that's great for Hermione, right?
they never had her have braces.
That things work
It's
out
a little
for her.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because...
I mean, they made her hair crazy, in the first one?
But I feel like by the second one,
it
they
was like
kind
they're
of
done
already...
with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
And
we're
then
going to
in
go
the
for
third,
hot.
in the third one, she made that comment about that's what her hair looks like from the back. And I was like, her hair doesn't even look bad in this movie.
Yeah. It looks normal.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite... I don't know, both for me... Sirius and Lupin looked more like I thought, but Sirius looked like, I guess I didn't have a good picture of Sirius, or it's not quite jiving with what I thought. But when we got to the third movie, I don't know, he didn't look quite scary enough for a little bit of it, or edgy enough, maybe. I don't really know.
He could have looked more emo.
That would have been great. But I don't know, there's some, and in the books too, you get a little bit more of Tonks and things like that, and I just don't think you get to see them as much. So it's just funny if you had someone who just read the books or just saw the movies, like, who your favorite characters would be in that. I mean, obviously, it's always tempting to say, like, you'd want to play, like, Hermione or something, because then you're in the middle of all the action, but
Yeah.
then you have to put up with the two boys, so...
You could be Moaning Myrtle.
She'd be one of the most fun characters to play.
Yeah.
But she had a sad life.
Yeah.
She's just sitting in her U-bend.
Right. Crying, getting offended all the time.
Oh.
I think Dumbledore was cast perfectly in the
First two movies.
And then I did not like Dumbledore again. Didn't like him at all.
Ooh, don't get me started on that. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
But, yeah, I just felt like the Dumbledore in the beginning, you know, they always kind of talk, like, he's got, like, a little twinkle, kind of like Santa.
Yeah.
But just a very kindly, and you kind of believe that's what makes it so confusing at the end of the, you know, books, when you're like, how did he feel about Harry and all this stuff? Because throughout the earlier books, he's portrayed as, like, you know, really caring about Harry and things like that. And, I don't know, I forget who the second actor was.
Michael Gambon.
Okay, Richard Harris was who
Richard
the first
Harris
guy.
was the first one, yeah.
And he was so much more gruff, and I feel like he didn't have the kind edge that I was expecting.
He was kind of more silly. Like, I'm sorry, Dumbledore is not silly.
Well, to be fair, in the first book, when they come to the first ceremony, doesn't he say...
But I feel like he's saying
Nitwit.
that... I feel like he's saying that to identify with kids, because he's got a bunch of new 11-year-olds there. That seemed like a very, like, teacherly thing to do. To just, like, identify with the kids and be like, haha, get it?
I feel like I've read an analysis of the words he says, like people speculating what they actually mean, but I can't recall right now.
Do they actually have meaning? I just thought it was...
People think so. I mean, people can read into everything, though,
Well, he
right?
said, and now I'll say a few words.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it meant anything. People are reading into that big time.
Oh.
So you thought it was just to, like, calm people down, and I thought it was just to show he had, like, a little bit of a weirdness and to kind of throw people off.
That's the way I took it. Like, he's an odd dude.
Yeah.
And I guess to run a magic school, you would be kind of
Odd.
Yeah.
Yep.
Being around a bunch of crazy kids.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm not called to be a teacher.
No.
You're around kids a lot, but you're not. They're not
but
teenagers.
I could not be a teacher.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. They do so much work. And, like, it's like, until you see them working and how much they work after work and how much they work on the weekends and how much, like, an elementary school teacher will put into their classroom of their own money and time, and it's like they just bleed for their students entirely. Now, what would wizard children get into? Like a wizard preschool?
Oh my gosh. Well, so they can't really do... If they were in a supervised environment, could they do some magic? Because isn't there, like, that's part of the reason with Hogwarts, you have to be supervised, but, like, Ron and his family, like, growing up were allowed to do, like... Or they learned little things that Harry didn't, but you're still not allowed to do underage magic, right? So...
When they were at the place with the camp in book number 4. The
Quidditch World
the
Cup?
Quidditch World Cup, yeah, when they were all with all the campers.
Camp host,
there
like,
were those
what?
little... There were all those little kids running around with their practice wands. And they were doing, like, little spells.
Because
That'd be hard to...
That'd be
like,
hard with preschool.
keep a
Yeah, I mean,
harness on.
like...
Yeah.
That little, I guess you wouldn't introduce them, but, like, what if 2nd or 3rd grade or... Wait, so
you're
what
gonna
age
see-
were they when they were in the book? 6th grade? In normal? 11 is, like,
5th or 6th
5th or
grade,
6th grade. So, things that make you...
That's just the age of trouble. Like, that's exactly when they're getting into trouble.
I mean, you'd still have to learn all the normal lessons, like treat people kindly and share, so you're not like poking someone's eye out with a wand, right? But I feel like there would have to be some different things.
It'd be hard if a child with a practice wand has seen their parents doing magic and to keep them from doing magic.
Oh, absolutely.
There'd be no way to keep your kid from doing magic. Everybody would be expelled before they're even in school.
It's kind of like anything your parents told you not to do when you were little, like...
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what, Annie?
I guess I'm not a good example, because most of the time it's like if my parents told me not to do something, but it's kind of like, especially if they were like, don't go outside right now, or don't climb that tree, that wouldn't work with me, you know, like...
Yeah, no.
Don't hit your brother. Sorry, Patrick. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, again, I wasn't the most rebellious kid, but then you see some, and it's like they do the exact opposite of what their parents tell them. So, and I would think, yeah, you're right, that wizard kids would it'd be almost worse, because they know of this whole other thing that, like, they can't really do.
Mm-hmm.
They would end up doing it. Like, Harry made glass disappear without even a wand.
Right.
So if that had happened, though, in Ron's family, right, like his mom had been there, I could see her stern talking to, sitting him down, like putting him in timeout and explaining. It's almost like worse that Harry didn't know, because it's like he kept doing stuff. But even if you knew, can you control that? Like, because still, if you get mad as a kid, wouldn't your temptation, if you're Ron, to be like, I'm so mad, I wish this would happen, and then
it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Because you'd think at least you know it's a possibility, so maybe you better control yourself, whereas Harry had no idea. I don't know.
You probably learn to control yourself faster.
Yeah, or realize what might be happening inside you.
Because also, I guess, there is that little bit of fear. If you can do this to someone, you know that someone could do it to you.
Well,
yeah.
true.
Retaliation.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess Harry was never really in danger of that. But okay, so another thing that I think about sometimes is Harry obviously was always meant to go to Hogwarts. Was no one else in his area, like, secretly a wizard? Or a witch? Because if you think about it, didn't Snape and Lily and all these... I mean, I know that was a different area of town, but it's like, I wonder if there was anyone else at his school that
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. Be like, hey, I recognize you from down Plymouth Drive.
Yeah.
Oh, you too?
I'm sure a lot of wizard, like, pureblood families probably lived in the same neighborhoods. Like, there'd be wizarding neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And then most of those people are the ones who get into Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have a few
But
other
then, like,
spread out.
James and Lily, he was a half-blood.
Yes.
And
his
she
dad
was.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Don't use that kind of word.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Let's.
We might have
out.
to expel you from...
Can you bleep
Yeah,
that? Was from a non-wizarding
There you go.
family.
There you go.
Dang.
Her Slytherin is coming out right now.
So, yeah, so it wouldn't have mattered where they lived, because...
It would have,
Yeah,
I mean,
it
he
would-
would have he had some of that magic in him.
I wonder what the percentage is, like how many people are in that situation. You know, because then it's like if it's unusual, then it's probably would be really unusual to be living near someone else like that, right?
Well,
because it sounded like the wizards all generally live in like wizard towns.
And
so
the schools are so spread out that, like, Hogwarts does take people right from, like, a larger area.
Yeah. Well, and I guess you could choose to go wherever, right? But like Draco was saying, his dad wanted him to go. Did you want him to go to Durmstrang or somewhere else?
But I mean, like, you get an invitation from Hogwarts, and, like, I feel like maybe they do a thing where, like, they kind of respect boundaries, and then it's like a school choice thing.
Well, that's what it seemed like. Like, well, this is kind of your school, but you could choose. Yeah. Well, and I don't remember if it comes up in the books or if it was when I was doing some other reading, but Hogwarts, you weren't required to go. Like, you could choose to homeschool.
Yeah.
But I also think it's like just because you got into Hogwarts, like, there may be slightly different acceptance for Durmstrang or Beauxbaton because they have different I don't know if you had an entrance exam or something like that, but
All of our listeners would know that because you're smart. You
For
listen
listening
to our
to
podcast.
us. Good for you guys. Give
Yeah.
yourselves a pat on the back. Also, go take a drink of water. Hydration is key.
Right. That's a good reminder.
as she said that, Tej now has her water. I just spilled Frappuccino all over myself, so...
Abby and Quinn are well hydrated over there in their tanks.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm the Ron of this podcast.
Because you spilled
No.
Frappuccino?
Yeah, spilling and just... Yeah,
But you have more degrees.
clumsy and... But I didn't go to Hogwarts.
Neither did we.
Well, I was gonna say neither did he at the end. Like
That's true.
they didn't.
None of them
Yeah.
graduated from Hogwarts.
True.
Actually, didn't Hermione go back to school?
I mean, I would think she probably
She
would.
probably went back to school.
But can you imagine, like, you're like, okay, we just brought down Voldemort. Okay, we're gonna go take exams
We need to go
now.
finish our
Like,
final year.
Yeah, I would think they would just give them an honorary degree. I mean, all these universities will give these, like, rando celebrities honorary
Yeah.
degrees and stuff.
and they don't even have to do anything for
Right.
it. So
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So, kind of circling back, you had said who would you want to play in the movie?
Mhm.
Do you have an answer to that?
Is it who you'd want to play or who we would have cast?
my first question was who we would want to play,
Oh.
because I know some of it
Luna
is.
Lovegood.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of it is character
I was going to
based.
say, it would be funny to be like Trelawney or...
Oh
Yeah,
my
she'd be fun,
gosh,
too.
I would
Who's
love to see you
ridiculous.
play Trelawney. I think we should, on a later podcast, reenact this.
Use your inner eye!
I think, I don't think I could pull it off, but it would be really fun to play McGonagall. I just think I would ruin the movie because I'd laugh in too many takes. She's so...
it's all digital now, it's fine.
They'll digitally remove your laugh.
I would like to be the squid.
Squid.
That was actually a little disappointing that they didn't have that in the movie.
There are many things disappointing about the movies.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I think I remember we went as a school trip, like, to the first movie in 6th grade, and I remember my biggest pet peeve, we might have even talked about this already, I think we did on an earlier podcast, but that, like, in the first, at the end of the first movie, when they're taking down Voldemort, like, one of the big things, they thought Snape was behind all this, and they didn't even show Snape's defense of the stone. Remember, like, he had the potion thing that you have to figure out.
Yeah.
And, like, I just remember kind of seeing that, and it's like, okay, well, a big thing in the books was that he already knew how to get by one of the defenses because he planned one of them, and they didn't show it. And I know it's not as exciting as the wizard chess or the flying, but it was just kind of like, I had just reread the book, of course, before going to the movie, and I was like, okay, well, that's a miss. Or, Peeves, I wasn't that sad that Peeves wasn't in it, but, like, that was a thing.
Every time Peeves was in the book, I was upset. So I'm kind of glad he wasn't in the movie.
I don't know how I picture Peeves either, so I guess I am very visual to the movies, because now I do that. But
So irritating.
what do you guys think? What were some of the... I think some of them did get better as it went on, like, that you got enough of the story, and maybe I cared less, but... You obviously have some big problems, Teach, with...
I mean, I don't...
Quinn apparently does, because she's splashing a lot right now.
I think I saw the first maybe 2 or 3 movies before I had read the book, and I just was always just like, what is going on? I don't even understand this.
Didn't immediately create you into a Harry Potter fan.
No. And then afterwards, when I did finally read the books and enjoyed them... Yeah, I'd see the movie. I guess I still was kind of like, what is going on? I at least knew the general plot at that point, but I don't know.
I'm trying to think. I really did love within the movies how they did the time turner. Like, I thought a lot of the things that they did, even like it was in the book too, but how they threw the stone and things like that.
Yeah.
I think they illustrated it well, so that was one that I liked. I think in the 6th movie they did pretty well with, Fred and George and bringing in some humor and some other things. That's one of my favorite movies for some reason, and it was not my favorite book, so I don't know why. But But yeah, they're just like little things. I think the things that annoy me the most are like little details that would have been easy to put in and don't take too much more time, but they just like change just to change. Mm-hmm. But now I can't think of examples of that, so sorry, people. But
I remember my friend having a cow because for the Yule Ball, the book says Hermione's dress is blue, I think. Mm-hmm. And she was losing her mind because in the movies they put her in a pink dress. And she's like, that.
First of all, the dress she was wearing was ugly. And she was supposed to look like a beautiful princess.
But she looked pretty in it.
Whatever.
She always...
I won't agree.
Yeah.
It confused me, too, because it was like, I guess I pictured from the books more, like, the robes for everybody. I guess I didn't really... I can't remember. Maybe the girls had dresses instead of robes. But I thought they were all supposed to have dress robes. Mm-hmm. And so I pictured them a little differently. So it seemed a little too, like, sleek and modern, I guess.
I didn't like Harry's dress robe because it was too sleek and modern. It didn't look like... It's like I felt like Dumbledore wore dress robes.
One of the turtles doesn't like the robes.
It's Quinn, for sure. She had a lot of issues with the movies. But she loves books, don't you? She knows. She came up.
She's like, yes.
She's like, yeah, I do. Do you have different people that you would cast? I mean, I think Alan Rickman was a perfect Snape.
Perfect Snape, yes.
I really felt that
And
one.
I think Malfoy was perfect.
He was pretty good, yeah. Yeah, that's true. The original Dumbledore was great.
She should have stayed alive.
And Emma Thompson as Trelawney. I mean...
Emma Thompson could have played every character.
Tej would have been a better one,
No.
but... That would have been pretty great.
McGonagall was perfect.
I'm trying to think, some of the friends, I think just in the movies they weren't all developed as much. Like, I think Hermione, Ron, and Harry, obviously, but then... Like,
what about Robbie Coltrane as Hagrid?
Yeah.
You like?
Now I can't really unsee him.
Yeah, I can't not see him.
So it is pretty iconic. I think some of the Beauxbaton girls, like, and Flora and stuff, I just pictured, I don't know what I pictured, but, like, a little bit differently. Because I thought she was very pretty, but, like, the way they describe in the books, I thought they'd have either, like, shimmery makeup on or, like, be even blonde, like, white blonde, all of them, you know, like, I mean,
they look a little more fantastical.
Yeah. So that was maybe not a casting choice, but, like, a makeup choice. And that probably, I guess, would have been ridiculous and taken too much time, but it was just, like, and then when she went in the water, it would have been all messed up, but...
But, like, even now, I think it's, 10 years later since that movie or something? Mm-hmm. Maybe more?
We can figure this out easily. We were like 11, 12, 13 when they...
13 or 14 when the third movie came out.
So, that's crazy.
Yeah, so 15 years ago, CGI has advanced significantly.
Yeah.
So they probably could have easily, now, if they made the movies, redone the makeup.
Well, and I think, too...
And it would have been fake.
That's true. It's funny now, too, because I think we've talked about this also, but now it's been so long that, like, more people know Emma Watson as Belle from the new Beauty and the Beast
than from Hermione, yeah.
We're very interested, though, in your thoughts, if there's anything that from the movie that particularly bothered you, or anyone that you would cast. I'm sure you guys can come up with better ideas than we can.
Especially if it's not early in the morning.
Or even if it's like a remake of Harry Potter. Because I still have a dream that they're going to go back and do a mini-series and it'll be all complete and perfect.
Ooh.
You think we'd be ready for that now?
I mean, clearly it's been 15 years. It's time.
They remake everything, so sure, why not?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If they did a mini-series, the magic doesn't have to be as beautiful. I mean...
You know what, Tej? Then your career as Trelawney can still happen.
It's still gonna
I'll be that old by then. Yeah.
Only if they wait a while.
Makeup.
There's a few years. They could...
Yeah,
if they started making it now, you got, another 2 years.
They actually didn't show up for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's cool. Then I wouldn't have to worry about finding a different job.
There you go. Mm-hmm. You can retire on that money.
Right.
Yeah. It would all come together.
Invest. So.
invest.
All right, well,
We are so thankful that you guys hung with us this season, right? I mean, we're learning as we go. It's been an adventure. We appreciate our fans, and we're...
All 20 of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean 15, because the other 5 are family, so...
I thought you were going to say because some of them are us. And, yeah.
That too.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 10. All 10 of you guys. Little treasures.
You definitely are.
Yep.
And we're interested, too, if there are other things you want us to talk about in the future.
or if you want to be a guest, maybe.
Oh, that would be fun.
Might be a little harder logistically now, but
We'd like to announce
the turtle
that
wants to be a
we'd
guest.
like to announce that Thunderwudgies is going. Thunderwudgie.
Oh,
We'd like to announce that Thunderwudgie podcast is going mobile a little bit. We'll see how
Multiple states.
future episodes go.
yeah, over the interwebs.
Might be using Skype or Zoom or whatever.
the
happens.
turtles are going to have to Skype in.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's why we're...
So the sound might change, but hopefully for the better.
But the hosts will stay the same
exactly.
Yay!
for your
Not-
listening pleasure.
Not going anywhere. So yes, this has been season 1.
Email us at thunderwudgies@gmail.com.
Or tweet at us at Thunderwudgie.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo woo.
Woo. Thunderwudgie is hosted by Reese, Annie, and Tej. We're at Thunderwudgie on Twitter, and you can send us an email via thunderwudgies@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.